Is this my new norm? Is this my new norm, just coming into here? Doing, yeah, I did, didn't I? It's literally kitty cornered with the gym. The gym is just literally diagonal to it. So all I have to do is cross one intersection and then I'm here. There's like nothing to it. The question is it going to be a sunny day today or not? You know? I'm thinking it's going to be a sunny day. It'll be a sunny one. Have I ever had a bald head? When I was a kid, I used to shave. I used to do military cuts for like every haircut I got. I loved having a buzz cut when I was a kid. So for like a large portion of my life, like up until I was like 10 years old, I just had a buzz cut like all the time. I'd like grow it out till it was like an inch long maybe, or like a couple inches, that was it. And then I'd get a buzz cut. I just loved having a buzz cut. You know what, like hair's such like a chore. Hair is like such a chore, and it's like, you know, that's why I got sick of my long hair. I was just like, you know what, this looks ugly after a while. Just like you can't do anything with it. All you do is just like maybe put some like silk therapy in it and let it fall like down. But it's just like I was like, ew, this is just gross. So like, yeah, that's why I like cut my hair again. But when I was a kid, that's like how I felt too. I was just like, I don't want anything getting in my way, you know? And it was like showering was like so much easier, you know what I mean? Like you didn't have to like wash anything basically. It was like you just like scrub your head and that was it. But like completely bald, I don't know, maybe once for like a joke. I think I might have shaved my head with like a razor. But I think I also cut my eyebrows too. People said I look like this. People said I look like Aang, the last Avatar, like Aang the Airbender or whatever. So yeah, for like a while, I like had like a real monk looked like straight up Aang or whatever. Yeah, I think I've done that once. I think I've done that once. Yeah, that's probably the closest I've ever been to like absolutely bald. I just had to like shave. I had to shave it with like a Bic razor or like a Gillette razor or whatever. The immune system. Yeah, it just operates. You all know its most basic function is they call it homeostasis. Homeostasis is like you retain like equivalency, which means you like have a temperature of like 98.6 degrees, basically. I think that's like what human beings are supposed to be at, 98.6. Yeah, it's called homeostasis, which in essence is a form of like normalcy, which is the same thing society does. Society naturally like forms an immune system. It's like makes ideas go through pathways before they can become like fully functioning and everything like that. So, you know, Osmosis Jones is sort of a like not entirely whatever, but there are like similarities, you know what I mean? But yeah, like society as a whole definitely like emulates some body that like functions without like our perspective of it having a consciousness or whatever. I call it like a superorganism. Basically when like an acting body, thank you. Oh no, that's fine. Oh no, it's totally fine. But like yeah, like yo, what's up, Ankit? But like when I've never heard anyone say this before, but when a body takes on a shape and it functions out of like a sense of there being, I guess people would almost call it like a swarm. They call it swarm mechanics or crowd mechanics is what they call it, like from a different perspective. But I think to an extent, these things form like bodies that they have desires and like, you know, they have wants and they fulfill like different functions. I call it a super organism. Yeah, most people call it like just swarm mechanics or crowd mechanics, you know? Like the hive mind, if you've ever heard of that. I think the hive mind is probably the most like popular way of saying like a super organism. But yeah, like society forms that as well with like the idea of there being like acting bodies which act on their own benefit. And there's like pathways of either entering or exiting the body. Yeah, most people call it like a hive mind or whatever is what people call it. But the immune system basically acts as like a normalizing body. How are you doing, Ankit? You want to know what the biggest system in the body is? Is your skin. Your skin is the largest organ in your entire body. It's called the integumentary system. Cool, man. Yeah, I need you guys too. But yeah, your skin is the largest body, or the largest organism on your body. And it's like the first line of defense. It's called, Stratified simple squamous tissue is what your skin is called. If you wanted to know like the scientific way to say skin. Sounds crazy, but it's just stratified simple squamous tissue. And then your hair is called keratinized. Science is full of weird names of stuff. People, if you don't know what someone's talking about, it just sounds absurd and crazy. Like if somebody hasn't if they don't have that reading level or whatever, that idea to understand the vocabulary, they'll just think somebody's making stuff up. Totally. Which is where like people with me, like I always tell people like the universe exists in a place of like potential reality as much as like it actually being real. We're just hanging out though, man. We're just friends, dude. We're just friends hanging out though. That's all it is. Like sometimes you have like a best friend, you know? Cup full of content. Yeah, I know, right? The thing is just like you can only be like so creative. My whole deal is like, I like to be creative with stuff, but I like to have it come about like organically. Like if I have the motivation during a day to like, you know, create some video where I make some joke out of something, like I like to let that come about naturally, you know? And when the cup I'm drinking is gone, the content stops. Yeah, well, it acts as a form of stimulation, you know what I mean? Like even before like my body processes all the caffeine and whatever else, it's just the idea of like interacting with ingesting something is like stimulating. You know, so as soon as the stimulation stops, then it's like, well, it's what I have to do. I have to have something else that I'm doing. It seems like mostly, you know what I mean? Like for me to be able to just stream and do this stuff, it's almost like I have to have something else I'm doing on the side every time. Whether it's like playing a game or like, you know, writing something. I did a stream the other day where I just like wrote poetry while people came in and talked. Yo, thanks for all the likes, guys. Was that Mrs. Bell? I think one of my old teachers was just in the coffee shop. Biology teacher. Try something cool about fire and ice. Yeah, you know what? It's just like making content really is hard. Like editing videos and like writing a script and like trying to figure out where to shoot. It like takes like 4 hours. You know what I mean? Because it's like you do like 10-second shots, and then you have to have like 4 hours of footage, and then you edit it down to like 10 minutes. You know, like making up content is really tough. Like, you know, and it's like I am coming from a place of kind of like struggling, you know, a little bit. So it's like mostly this is just like because it keeps me busy, right? It's like I do this mostly just to stay busy. So not try. But I'll tell you something about fire and ice. I actually had a thought. Like I have thoughts about everything like every day, you know what I mean? It's just like which ones do I act on, right? But I had a thought about fire and ice. Like some say the sun is so hot, but it's like actually really cold with how alone it is. It's like nothing exists on the sun. So in that extent, it's very cold. It's a very cold body. Is it really that hot? I guess then you can distinguish the difference between hot and warm. Yo, what's up, alien? Good morning. There's something about fire and ice for you. Just like for being so hot, the sun sure is pretty cold out there with no life. Ooh, alien, we've actually had pretty good numbers today. Like in the gym, during the gym stream, it was like we had like 10, 12 people, like the whole time. We've had about 10 people here as well. Yeah, see right now there's 11, but maybe we are growing as a channel, you know what I mean? Like slowly but surely, maybe we are growing. When the sun gets cold, the mind will always burn. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? It's just like poetry. But that's why I love poetry though so much, is because like it doesn't have to make sense. You've seen 10 below, yeah. I've where I live, it gets colder than that, man. Here in Utah, in the mountains in northern Utah, it gets colder than 10 below. Like we get to 0 degrees sometimes, which is like 32 degrees below zero or whatever. 32 degrees below freezing. Sometimes it gets pretty cold. Yeah, alien. We've had quite a few people come. And poetry has to make sense. I don't think it does. I think it just has to sound like something you can connect with. Somehow it's the idea that everything is unknown. No matter how much we know, no matter how much we say we understand things, there will always be the unknown. And I think poetry resides in the space between the known and the unknown. We take some things that we know and we try to understand things we can't, things we never will. So somehow when you say something that's contradictory, it embodies an aspect of life that I think is innate to everything that's living. It's this idea that life is full of many different perspectives. Like when you were a kid, kids live in many different perspectives. All of them live in many different perspectives. Where do the resources come from anyways? You know what I mean? It's just from the sun, the trees that grow. It's eventually just all radiated from the sun. Where does all the energy come from? It's all radiated from the sun. Yeah, they said it was the afternoon, yeah. But you know what I mean? That's what I think, at least, like that. Like, let poetry be the expression of what we can't understand, but we feel connected to. Like, the perspective of life isn't necessarily something normal, it's always new. Everything that we think can be what is, because the sun goes in a circle and it's massive, it's giant, almost like a line. It's something outside of time. You know, but kids aren't necessarily incorrect with all their perspectives, let's say, because where do all the resources come from anyways? From this giant mass of insanity. The sun folds in on itself to create this explosion, which feeds humanity. There you go, Biggs. I don't know. I like to be practical too. Like, my kid self would hate my adult self, basically. Alien, if I had to tell you, like, my kid self was like, number one was mathematics. Like, number one is mathematics, always. is what I was as a kid. I hated English because I was like, oh, you can do whatever you want. It's like it's basically like up to anyone's opinion. But for some reason I like loved math so much because it was like, oh, 1 + 1 is 2, and that's true. So it's just like everything else, came into being after that. Yeah, I try not to be like too overwhelming, you know what I mean, with that stuff. I think I think to an extent, if you focus on like thoughts like that too much, it can become like overwhelming, you know. Just like I try to be well-rounded as much as I can be. Try to like see things from another perspective always. Whether that perspective is like normal or somehow radical, I try to continually like understand from which position I'm standing from, you know. Yeah, it's gonna be a cloudy day for sure, guys. This is gonna be a cloudy one. One second. Started buffering? Oh, I don't know. Sorry. I was checking something else out of my phone. I guess it's back though. Hey, Alien, what do you think about this hairdo? This one's not too wild, right? And but it's like dry, you know? I tried to do like a dry style, but like similar to the other style. It's just dry, you know? Dry hair. Back to the Future hairdo, nice, nice. I used to love those shows. I used to love Back to the Future. What I also used to think I would like the future was gonna have, whenever I used to watch Back to the Future, he has like that skateboard that like hovers, right? He has the hovering skateboard. And I was like, in the future, we're gonna have those. I thought like during my life, we'd have like hoverboard skateboards. And then they started calling those like ones where you like stand on, they started calling them hoverboards, you know? And I always thought like, why are they calling these hoverboards? You know, they're not hoverboards. It took a lot of brushing to get it to do this. But it's like a fine hairbrush. I think today's gonna be a good day though. Maybe I'll find a new video game to play. Maybe I'll start streaming a new video game. They did make the self-tying shoes now. But yeah, I always thought we were gonna see hoverboards. You know, that worked off of some kind of electricity or something. But now I have a totally different image of the future, you know? Totally different image. The future is only an idea of a place that can go anywhere. Future is just an idea. You can even get to the past in the most unreal depiction of the future there is. Hoping you didn't see his past self. Yeah, Doc, what was that guy's name? Doc Brown? I did a hairdo a little bit ago and somebody's like, Doc Brown hairdo, ah. You know? They're like, you look like Doc Brown. I was like, thanks. Is Alien still here? I was gonna ask him what he thought about this hairdo. Because he's been giving me ratings on my, because I've been doing so many different hairdos. He's been giving me ratings on them. I gotta remember, tonight at 7, I'm going out to like get a snack with my brother, get dinner with my brother. Gotta remember that. Look awesome, thanks. Yeah, he just doesn't like the poetry as much, you know what I mean? Like, if I start doing poetry and stuff like that, I think he doesn't like it that much. He's like a pretty, I think he likes 1 + 1 = 2, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Which is fine. Like I said, my kid self would hate my adult self. Like, you know, this thing that is like holding on to like creativity and like nothing, rather than like actually being like grounded in reality, you know? But yeah, my kid self would hate my adult self. Like, totally. Good thing he's not around. My kid self was brutal, man. My kid self was like super brutal. Oh, I know what I could play. I could play Path of Exile. I could try that out. Everyone says it's pretty good. Path of Exile 2. Maybe I'll start that today. I'll start it going. Yeah, well, more just like, you know what I mean? It's like, not as creative. Maybe, you know, it's like I'm like a little too colorful or something, which I totally understand, you know. Like I said, because I totally get it. Yo, what's up, Alien? I was gonna ask you, what do you think about this hairdo? Is it all right? Does it pass normalcy? Oh, you're fine, man. Sometimes I just think maybe I just use too many words when I don't have to use that many words to say something. That's probably, and I agree, like I have that problem. You know what I mean? I think I use too many words to like say something that could be said basic. I think to an extent it can become a problem, you know? It's not terrible. Okay. That's like saying like you survived. It's like on a scale of like 1 to 10, like 1 is just surviving and like 10 is like you like became successful. I feel like that's like you just survived, man. I actually went and lit a fire this morning. Looks kind of done in a hurry. The funny thing is doing my hair like this took longer than like the way I did it yesterday. Cause like to do it like this, to make it look dry, and like have style, you have to put like this stuff called dry styling powder in it. And then you put that all over your hair. And then you take a brush and you have to brush it like so that it goes like this. And then you hairspray it. But all I had to do for like yesterday's was put like gel in my hair and then just like go like this with my hands, and then it was done. So like the funny thing is this one, doing it like this takes longer, but I can get that. It's just because it's dry, I think. Because it's dry, it looks like I didn't do it or whatever. Yo, thanks, Biggs. I've just had people pretty critical, you know what I mean? And it's like something I have to be aware of, you know what I mean? Just being too overbearing with words, I think. You know, let the world be an expression unto itself. Like, let the world be. You know, you don't have to understand everything. I think it can become sort of overbearing, overwhelming, you know, trying to think like that all the time. Just exist. Hold on. The fire alarm just went off. We're okay here, though. Somebody pulled the fire alarm. They said it's just somebody out like smoking outside or something. Yeah, I know, Resident Evil, right? There's another outbreak. I haven't seen him in like, I saw him like 2 days ago. Like 2 days ago, he joined my like morning stream and he asked me if I supported Trump or Kamala. And then he left. But I haven't seen him in like 2 days. That's all he said too. I was like doing my morning stream where it's like I'm just like watching funny videos or whatever. And he came in and said, "Do you support Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?" And then he left. And I haven't seen him since then. Supposedly though, Donald Trump is like making a lot of deals with India or whatever, I guess. And Elon is too. I guess Elon's gonna start hiring a bunch of Indians for SpaceX and stuff is what he says. Oh no, he's talking, it's like, he's talking about Faisal. You know the guy, he's talking about Faisal, or like, he goes by a lot of names. Faisal, Subnautica, Hubert, or whatever, right? He like changes his name every time he comes into chat. But he's the kid from Syria or whatever. Yeah, you remember him? Yeah, he just hasn't shown up in a couple days. But like I said, the last time I saw him was like 2 days at like 6 a.m. in my morning, and he just like came and asked me one like political question and then left. All I said was like, last time I voted for myself, because it's just like, you know, a lot of Americans don't think it matters, but I mean, if I could like give autonomy to myself, then I would do that, you know. His language is from the internet. Yeah, it is. He does use a lot of internet language. You know, he has an international accent, so to speak. In America, they call them iPad kids. That's what they call them in America. They say, your kid is an iPad kid. Peter Griffin stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. He could be here right now, though. So, Faisal, just know you're welcome. Just know you're welcome, Faisal. He likes roasting, too. Like, every once in a while, he'll be like, let's have a roasting contest. And I never say anything back to him because I'm like, I don't want to like hurt his feelings or something. But he says like he always does roasts. You think the inside of the pyramids are more amazing than the outside? I've never been there. My parents have though. My parents just went to Egypt like I don't know, like 8 or 9 months ago. They just went. You like a good roast battle? Yeah, so does Faisal. I have no problem with like roasting people. It's just like, I don't know if I want to start doing that as like a host. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want to accidentally hurt someone's feelings or something. All the rooms and traps. I think all the artwork looks cool. I like the artwork in the pyramids. But yeah, maybe I'll play Path of Exile, guys. The new Path of Exile. See how that goes down. You roast racist guys in the Nigerian streamers chat? Nice, it's fun. Memphis, Tennessee has a pyramid? Yeah, isn't it like a Bass Pro Shop or something? The Bass Pro Shop pyramid? Or something like that. Anything you guys want to talk about before I go? Anything? Yeah, we'll put on some Path of Exile. The streamer doesn't encourage it? Yeah, I bet he's just like, you know what, let people say what they want to say, kind of like me maybe, you know. I do that same thing. I'm just like, yeah, let people say what they want to say. NFL players play in the cold weather. They just do it. It's not comfortable. I've had to do sports in the cold, and it sucks. I used to run track and field, and like, I would run track and field in like the very cold weather, and it just sucked. 100-meter dash or whatever, in like the freezing cold. It was never fun. Yeah, Path of Exile is the game. I don't think he got banned. It's just people were making fun of him because he was like paying somebody to play it for him. And then he would just get on when the character was like completely made and say it was all him. I don't think he got banned though. It's just the gaming community like called him out on like saying like, dude, you lied about, you said you're like the best player in the world, but you paid for somebody to like make you a character or whatever. So yeah, they said he paid somebody, and then he said he did too. He's like, you have to pay somebody if you want to be the best, is what he said. So he kind of got called out on it. Oh, you saw his tweet? He was banned? Really? I didn't know that much. I didn't know he got banned. Yeah, there's some things that he's said like that makes me like think like, you know what, I have to take everything he says with a grain of salt, because like when he launched his Optimus robots, he advertised that they were self-autonomous, but they weren't. They had people operating them behind a computer. So he lied about that like blatantly to people. But yeah, see me leave. I don't like this part of the day being over either. It's like a nice part of my day, you know? It's like a place where I really feel comfortable, and I feel like, you know, like some things are like progressing, you know, here and stuff like that. So I don't like to see it. I don't like to see it go either, Biggs. Yeah, guys, I'll see you later today, and maybe I'll be playing Path of Exile for you. We'll see. I'll have to go install it first, which might take a while, so. A super sour fruit? What kind of fruit? A lemon? Are you eating a lemon or a lime? Literally with a grain of salt. I want to know what it's called. What is it called, Alien? What's the name of the fruit? It's more than sour. Maybe it will be sunny today. It's called gooseberry. No, I don't think I've ever heard of it. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out. Maybe you'll see me playing some Path of Exile today. So I'll catch you there. I just got to go and download it first and install it, so it might take a minute. But anyways, guys, thanks for joining again. I think we're getting more and more engagement from like different people, you know? So let's keep it up. I think as time goes on, the conversations will just get better, you know? The topics and the conversations and the ideas, I think they'll just get better and better. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you later, okay? Bye. Wait, what's up? When the sun gets cold, the mind will always burn. Gotcha. What's up, Alien? Have I ever... eaten a fruit that's bitter? Yeah. I sometimes like, let's see, I've eaten like limes and lemons. Or bitter, like chocolate. I've eaten chocolate without any sugar in it. Chocolate is naturally bitter. It's not necessarily like a sour, but it's bitter. Like chocolate is. And I've had chocolate without like any sugar in it. Like raw chocolate, it's super bitter. Yeah, but when you drink water, it tastes sweet. Yep, I know what you're talking about, yeah. Do you eat chocolate? Eat like raw chocolate that doesn't have any sugar added to it, and it does that. Yeah, it's like as soon as the water, like it's like somehow neutral, but it just gives you a little sensation. It like leaves a sensation on your palate, and so when something like washes it off, it also creates another sensation. Yeah. No, it doesn't taste sweet. That's why I said it's bitter. But when you drink water afterwards, it tastes sweet. Yeah, I know it doesn't taste sweet. It's a raw chocolate's a bitter thing. But after you eat raw chocolate, then you like drink water, it'll taste bitter. Or I mean, it'll taste sweet. Has to do with like an interaction, I think, of like cleansing your palate or something. Let's see, a bitter fruit that leaves a sweet taste. Maybe bitter version and sour version. Nice. I'm trying to think something that's like bitter. Maybe raspberries. I'll give you a good one. So like raspberries, sometimes they're sour. Sometimes they're sour, but they leave like a sweet taste. And I've had like strawberries that are like really old that I've eaten, like kind of dried strawberries. I think sometimes they can be bitter but leave a sweet taste too. So like not very ripe raspberries and like too ripe strawberries. The tongue, that's weird. It can't detect in different areas of the tongue. That's cool. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go. You close your eyes when you eat? Dang, that sounds sour, man. That sounds like biting into a lime. That sounds very sour. All right, guys, see ya. Bye, Biggs.